it's charged on an hourly basis, and the amount of hours gets negotiated with the customer to figure out how much the work is actually going to cost. Everybody understand the difference between products and services? So later on, what you're going to do is you're going to go to this website, and then you're going to type in the keywords of the products or services that you're going to sell, and we'll put the slide back up when we get to it. And then you'll get a whole list of NAICS codes, and then you just scroll through them and find the one that's closely aligned with what you're doing, and then write down that NAICS code. So this is an example of information that's useful to you later on. So Josh, slide 4 is the slide now. And then just pick the one that represents your product or service. So here's the NAICS website, when you go to the website that I put up there, and over here is the 2017 NAICS search. And so you type in the keyword, in this case I put in training, and then hit enter, and it gave me all these different types of training. So you can see training horses, coal mining support services, training pants? Oh, like underwear? Here we go. Only a business line for me, I hadn't thought about it. Junior colleges, community colleges, software application training, local land management training, computer training. So you see lots of different things. So in my case, it's professional development training. There's a whole list more down here. So here are the NAICS codes over here, and here's the description. If you click on the NAICS code, it'll give you more words. So just sort of flip through and figure out what's most closely aligned for you. And then repeat the process for all the other products and services you're talking about right now. So again, for purposes of this class, I just want to make sure you understand how to find NAICS codes, so you don't have to go through all of them right now. As long as you get at least 3, I have your camera. USAspending.gov is a really good website. They've changed the interface to it, but what you can do is you can see how the government is spending their money today. So you can click on a particular agency and see what they're spending money on. You can look at a particular state or county within the state and find what they're spending money on. You can look at your competitors. You can do it by company. You can do it by NAICS code. So once you know what your NAICS codes are, then going to this usaspending.gov is a good place to figure out where that money is being spent today. If you want to find current opportunities for your NAICS code, you go to FedBizOpps, because every request for information, every list of discussion, every list of questions that vendors have asked, the actual RFP, any amendments to the RFP, the award decisions, those are all posted in FedBizOpps. So you can type in that same NAICS code and it'll show you all the customers that are currently buying your NAICS code. Okay, so that's one thing. Now what I'd like to do is talk. Any questions about NAICS codes? Josh will put those slides up when you do that part. Okay. Next, what I want to talk about is small business goals. So, unlike the commercial sector, the federal government does pay attention to more things than just price, which is why they are so concerned about small businesses and you guys getting business. They care about these socioeconomic concerns. They want to make sure that Southwestern Virginia has jobs for your generation and your children's generation to come, right? They really are focused on making sure the country as a whole prospers, not just these little pockets of DC or California or Texas that get all the government contracts. They want to make sure that sales are equitably sourced, so they look at, what types of companies are out there, are they pursuing government business, and they impose requirements to hire small businesses on large businesses. So Okay, so here are the roles and responsibilities. The Small Business Administration, SBA, they set goals for each small business category. So 5% women-owned, 5% hub zone, 10% Native American, whatever. And they also work as a resource to all the agencies. So when agencies have problems meeting small business goals, they go to the Small Business Administration as an interface to fix the problem. The agency is required to meet these SBA goals through either set-asides, which are contracts just designed for small business categories, or through prime contracts. So if I'm NIH, I can either do set-asides to meet all my small business goals that are set forth over here, or I can say to prime contractors like Lockheed and Northrop Grumman and all these other companies, you, prime contractor, have to meet my goals. So you have to provide 5% to women-owned businesses. You have to provide 10% to Native American businesses. So what I do as the agency is I impose that requirement on the prime contractors. And in the old days, prime contractors just had to put together a subcontracting plan that showed that they met the goals. And quite frankly, after the prime submitted it, no one paid any attention to it. So small businesses really got screwed. So now the government says, no, no, no. If you don't meet your small business goals, we, the government, are going to impose on you, prime contractor, liquidated damages, which means we're actually going to take contracting dollars away from you because you did not meet your small business goals. So that's how seriously they're taking it. And then small businesses, if you obtain certifications, and as I said yesterday, some certifications you self-certify. I'm a woman-owned business. I'm a woman, I own a business, I'm a woman-owned business. I'm self-certified. Or other ones you have to go through, like the agency of VA to get veteran service disabled or veteran service owned businesses. The more certifications you obtain, the more likely it is that you can get your set-aside contracts, and the more appealing you appear to prime contractors. Because if you're a Native American owned company, and I'm Lockheed, and I don't have any companies that are Native American owned, and I need to meet that objective, you look really attractive to me. So the more certifications you get, the better you are in both of these cases. And you can secure contracts as a small business through set-asides, prime contracts, or you can go after full and open competition. You know, you can do that just as easily. So the Small Business Administration is responsible for small business initiatives. So it's worthwhile to go out to their website. www.sba.gov, and just see what resources are available to you out there, because there's quite a bit. They set goals for the agency, as we talked about, and they require agencies to report on how they're making progress towards these goals. So, for example, I've seen agencies who have said to program managers, the program managers come in and say, I have a requirement for Umpity Squat, and I want to do a full and open competition, and the contracting officer has said, we are not meeting our women-owned business goals right now. This needs to be a women-owned set-aside. So again, more rationale for why you should do it. Here are some of the categories for small business set-asides: veteran-owned or veteran service disabled, labor surplus, historically black colleges and universities, historically underutilized business zones, and a lot of southwest counties in Virginia fall under that hub zone, and then women-owned. Always check the SBA website, because there's other ones up there, Native American, for example. So how does it work within an agency? An agency has a small business advocate, and they can be called a small business utilization officer, small disadvantaged business utilization officer, whatever. But there's an office within each agency that talks about small businesses. That's what their goal is. So it's always good to tap into whatever resources they have available for you, because oftentimes they'll have things like webinars, how to do business with the Department of Justice as a small business. They might have like topical content sessions on how to do a services contract. They might have those speed dating things that I talked about yesterday, where you meet with program managers. So So they do small business fairs, lots of things going on at the agency. They look at every new agency requirement. So any program manager within the agency who has a requirement, they will say to them, why can't this be a small business set aside? Like that's how much they're pushing for small business. And as long as there's at least 3 small businesses that can do the work, they will convert it over to a small business requirement. And then agencies will push procurement dollars towards goals they haven't met, like I just talked about. So they meet their goals through these set-aside contracts. So this is where they take the requirement, they say only a certain category of person can go after it. So department, as an example, Department of Energy needs training. The contracting officer looks at how they're progressing towards their small business goals. They realize they're currently not meeting their women-owned business. They'll do a set-aside contract just for women-owned for that training requirement. Agencies also meet them through small business goals. So in this case, they'll put in the actual RFP that large companies have to provide a subcontracting plan that meets the following goals, and they'll put down how much percentage of the business they have to do. And this becomes a challenge for contractors, because when you think about it, if I'm doing a firm fixed price contract, I can pretty much say, well, 10%, I can make sure 10% of the dollars go here and 5% of the dollars go there, because I know what my pool of money is. But think about it if I'm doing a cost reimbursable contract, where I don't know what the government's going to buy from me, but I still have to commit to these goals. So, quite frankly, it's really good to establish relationships with large companies, because they run into problems meeting these goals. And it's, you know, if you're able to be flexible and nimble, which quite frankly small businesses are known for, you're able to get this work. So, you know, establish those relationships with large firms. So we talked about some set-aside programs allow you to self-certify, others require you to go through a process. It's in your best interest to get as many as possible because you have more opportunities both from set-aside and as firm contractors. When you do go after a set-aside program, the company that qualifies for the set-aside has to have 51% of the contract. The agency will count the dollars of the contract towards their small business goals, and then you can either do the whole contract yourself or you can subcontract out. And you can search FedBizOpps for set-aside programs. So you can actually, when you get to FedBizOpps, you can actually hit set-asides and it'll show you all the set-aside programs. So in terms of a recommended strategy, get as many certifications as you're eligible for. Go to bidders conferences on procurements you're interested in either priming or subcontracting on, because you can find your prime contractors there. Do your homework. You know, so I used to talk to a lot of small businesses when I was with DDS, and one of the things that you really need to sort of get your head around is you need to do your homework. Because what small businesses would do, I would be running a $500 million contract, or proposal effort for a $500 million contract. And small businesses would want to meet with me, and I would take the meeting, and they would come in and they would say, this is everything I can do, you know? And then they were expecting me to go through my RFP document and find out where you could play. I'll tell you something. When I'm running a $500 million contract, I don't have time to do that for you. So many small businesses went away empty-handed because they didn't do their homework. The companies that did get the business were the ones that had reviewed the RFP that I was the program manager of, and they read the technical requirements, and they said, technical requirements C.1.4.6 and 4.7 and 4.8, I can do that for you. Well, guess what? You have now provided a solution for me of my baseline, and you've done some of my work for me, and this is helpful. But when it's this, you know, and I know what you're trying to do when you do it, right? Because you're just trying to, well, let's see what sticks. I'll throw it all up on the wall and let's just see what sticks. But if you can come up with the specific requirements, you're going to be much better off. Another thing is, look at their career websites. We talked about this yesterday. If they have openings out there, Those are positions on government contracts that they haven't filled yet, which means every day they're unfilled, they're losing money. If you have people that can meet those requirements, call them up and strike a deal. You know, I can provide these 5 labor categories to you, and I see you have them open on your Department of Commerce contract. Let me do that for you. Also, target the agencies. So for purposes of this class, I'm going to ask you to focus in on 3 agencies, because you can't be all things to all people. So just kind of target 3 agencies. Look at their website and find their small business office.